We can start, Trapti.
Yeah, we'll start. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for participating in today's webinar on computational thinking and artificial intelligence. For today's session, we have Miss Yukti with us, and she is actually the passionate AI and robotic educator at Army Public School, Meerut, Kent, presently with 7 years of experience in empowering the students and teachers through the innovative technology integration, also an Intel certified AI coach and CBSE resource person. She has mentored over more than 500 students in over 100 real world AI and AI OT projects, many of which has earned recognition at district, national and international level. Not only this, ma'am has been serving as the coordinator for AI student community, a joint initiative by CBSE and Intel. For the past 2 years, ma'am has been driving collaborations, innovations, and peer learning among young AI enthusiasts across schools. Ma'am has also been honored as the top AI educator at Impact Shapers category at AI India Impact Festival by Niti Aayog and the Ministry of Education. She has also been a recipient of Generation AI at 2047 Educator Award by IBM and CBSE. Not only this, ma'am has been actively leading the teacher training program, AI boot camps, and student ideathons, guiding learners to explore AI for social good and build solutions that matter. Her mission is to inspire future innovators and contribute meaningfully to the evolving landscape of AI education in India. Wonderful welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, all over to you, Yukti, ma'am.
Good evening to all the teachers. I welcome you all to this comprehensive teachers workshop on CT and AI for grade 3 to 8. I'll just quickly share my screen and would request teachers to please let me know, acknowledge once it is visible to you.
Yeah,
I
ma'am.
hope it is visible to you.
Yeah, it is visible.
Thank
You
you so
just
much.
need to present it. Yes, it is fine now.
Okay, so teachers, I welcome you all to this comprehensive educators workshop on implementing mandatory CT and AI curriculum for grade 3 to 8. So today we will be discussing one of the most progressive initiatives launched by CBSE recently by integrating CT and AI in the regular school curriculum for grade 3 to 8. This curriculum, it is aligned with National Education Policy 2020 and National Curriculum Framework for Secondary Education 2023 to make the students future ready. So our focus today in the workshop will be basically on what CT and AI is, how these two components are linked together, why CBSE have launched them together, how it will impact the students' future, and how as a teachers we are responsible in integrating CT and AI in the school curriculum. So that's what we will be starting with. Let me quickly move on to the next slide. So we all know that this particular curriculum is launched in alignment with National Education Policy and NCRF SE. So NEP, it aims to position India as the leader in emerging knowledge fields by integrating artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and computational thinking into the school education. Considering this, CBSE has introduced this curriculum. CT along with AI for the young learners is starting from 3 to grade 8. So, our task as a teacher, we need to understand that why this particular concept CT, the component CT, is launched along with AI. So, CT is a component which will definitely encourage a student in solving problem in a structured way. We know that students generally solve their problem in the day-to-day life, so that's what we need to make the students understand. So it's not a new subject, teachers. It's not a new curriculum which is actually launched. It is just a pedagogical shift. We just need to make the students become the thinkers rather than mere learners. So I will take you through the curriculum. We will discuss the different topics also in computational thinking and in AI, and we will see that what is the link between the two, why students are first introduced with CT and then they are taken ahead to AI. So CT is all about in which students are encouraged to solve the problems in a structured manner, and then when they will understand that what structural procedure is required to solve the problem, that understanding they will take ahead to understand how intelligent machines also work, and they bring out a proper solution. So if I talk about CT is the component which is solely launched for 3 to 5. The introduction of computational thinking is launched for 3 to 5 because 3 to 5 students, they are quite young. So for young learners, CBSE has decided not to start directly AI. They are first introduced with computational thinking, in which they will understand and they will be encouraged to think strategically to bring out a solution. So they will go through the different steps. I'll definitely be discussing with you, and then when they will enter into sixth, seventh, and eighth, they will be introduced with the advanced CT because they will have the deeper understanding, they will have the deeper thinking skills. So they will be introduced with advanced CT along with the introduction to AI. So AI in sixth and seventh, it is kept quite unplugged. I'll talk about what unplugged is. It is more of activity oriented, not involving many of the digital activities, not dependent on any platform or device. So that's what we will be discussing. So let's quickly move ahead. So teachers, this is the screenshot that I have taken from secondary school curriculum part 1, which was recently released by CBSE, wherein they have clearly mentioned that the launch of this particular curriculum it focuses on strengthening the core competencies, including the logical reasoning, pattern recognition, data interpretation, algorithmic thinking, creativity, collaboration, and ethical awareness. So, if we see all these core competencies, these are in computational thinking, students will be encouraged to develop these core competencies in themselves. They will understand that what is the how they can logically solve a problem, how they can recognize the pattern, how to interpret the data. So in computational thinking, they will actually work on these skills, and then in AI, they will understand how these mechanism, how these procedures are followed by a machine to solve a particular problem. So it will kind of establish a relationship. It will quite make the student understand that how AI actually works. So that is why first CBSE is introducing CT to the students, and then they are moving towards artificial intelligence to establish that particular relationship. And if you people have gone through the curriculum, I'll just quickly show you. It's low tech, it's activity driven, and it's not dependent on any platform or device or maybe any additional instructional time. So if I talk about CT computational thinking, it is embedded with the mathematics curriculum. So I'll show you the handbooks, and I'll make you relate it with the existing mathematics book that we have on the NCRT page. So moving ahead. Now, what was the vision of CBSE when they launched CT and AI curriculum? They wanted students to become the problem solvers. So to become problem solvers and solve problem in a structured manner. So they started with the basic problem solving, in which the students they will be encouraged in solving their day-to-day problems. And generally, we know the students, they solve their basic problems in day-to-day life. So they will be encouraged to solve that, and then they will be taken ahead to the CT skills. So we know that the students generally solve a problem, maybe in an unstructured or structured form, unintentionally or intentionally. So with CT skills, they will actually gain that how they can solve the problem using a structured approach. Like they will understand how they can solve a complex problem by dividing that particular problem into smaller parts, how they can identify the patterns out of the data that they collect, how they can then further form the steps to solve the problem, how they can apply abstraction. So in CT, they are actually introduced with the different set of steps that they should follow to develop a solution to a problem. So after basic problem solving, we'll move to the complex problem solving that will be handled with the help of the CT, computational thinking. Whatever the students will learn in computational thinking, the procedure that they will follow, the structured approach that they will follow, then they will be taken to the AI awareness, where they will see that how the machines intelligently solve the problem following the same set of steps. So they will be able to correlate that what all they were encouraged to perform in the computational thinking component of the book, the same machine is performing. So they will be able to relate and will be able to understand, and that will establish a strong AI awareness among students. Moving ahead, they will be introduced, since we know that our students are already using artificial intelligence so much in their everyday life. So they need to understand. We will relate with the real world problems of artificial intelligence, but at the same time, the students need to understand the ethical and the responsible use of AI. Since we don't want our students to only be the users of the technology, we want them to be the developers also. So if they are the users, they are the developers. Now we need to ensure as the teachers that they become the responsible users and developers of AI. So we cannot say this that AI is a future. AI is actually a present. If you ask some applications and the uses which students are using in their everyday life, even a student at a very young age can mention that what all applications they're using, their parents are using. Considering this, that we are already using AI so much, now we have actually entered into the generative AI. We are using so many generative AI tools also, even our students are using. So considering that CPSC has launched and made it mandatory for grade 3 to 8 to make them understand, to not to make them only the mere users of technology, but also to make them understand how this technology works, and then progressively to make them the developers of the same. So that's what the curriculum is all about, and that's what is the vision of CPSC. It's a structured approach, and it's age appropriate, and it's progressing as per the age of the student. So moving ahead, let's quickly talk about computational thinking. So computational thinking, it's basically component which will encourage the students to solve the problems in a structured way. Now, when it comes to structured way, then we know that our students are already solving problem, but there are certain complex problems where definitely they will find problems to solve. So there comes computational thinking, in which they will understand how they can solve any complex problem by dividing that particular problem into the manageable steps. So there are certain core skills, the core competencies which the students will be introduced with. So computational thinking is launched to encourage the students to get to get the expertise on these core competency skills to solve the problem and to bring out the better solution. So the first is problem decomposition, which is breaking the problem into smaller parts. So it's a question from you teachers, that in case the school asks you to plan for an annual day event, then it's a complex problem. We know it's a big problem. It's a big event that definitely we generally plan in the schools. So I want to know that how you people are going to break it to get it solved. Can I get some responses in the chat section? Though I've mentioned some of them, but I would like to see something new coming up from you. So if we are planning and if we've been assigned with the task list of programs, okay, Mohit sir. Yes, list of programs. Namrata ma'am, planning, definitely. Archana ma'am, theme, absolutely. Sunita ma'am, planning, time, day. Pooja ma'am, invitations and list, definitely. Pallavi ma'am, duration is very important when it comes to planning the annual day. Arpit sir, list of guests, absolutely. So to whom we will be given the invitations? Manisha ma'am, partner branches. Okay. Reena ma'am, guests. Anchal ma'am, script. Script is again very important when it comes to annual day. Pasna ma'am, assign and allot, divide the task, events. So I've got so many answers. Budget also. I've got duties, refreshments, number of participants. Thank you so much for the overwhelming responses, teachers. Yes, costume, venue, chairs. So yes. So what we do when we try to solve a problem, we try to break it. So that is problem decomposition. And we as a teachers, we keep doing these things. So that is what we need to make our students also understand. When they will face any problem, we need to make them understand how they should break that particular problem to get a solution to it, so that they can convert it into a manageable steps, and then further they can bring a solution to it. The second step is pattern recognition. So teachers, how you have given me these list of smaller parts, how you have given me these smaller steps that you've identified, the parts that you've identified for the annual day event. Maybe you have recalled your past experiences. Yes, previous event. So I've got the response. It's written Vivo. So I don't know the name of the teacher, but thank you so much. Previous events. Absolutely. Thank you, Saran ma'am. Sunita ma'am, checklist. Akriti ma'am, now department wise. Okay. So see, previous events. So when you people have already organized, you've already organized the annual day events. Maybe you were the part of it, or maybe you were the core committee member. So from that particular past set of events, you've identified the similarities and the trends. On the basis of that, you've enlisted all these steps. You've enlisted all these smaller parts in the chat section. So pattern recognition is, we try to recall all the past experiences, and from that we try to establish the similarities, we try to identify the trends, and from that then we try to bring in the requirements for the event that we are planning for. This is just for the example purpose. We can give a different example to our students to make them understand. So pattern recognition is establishing the relationship, finding the similarities, and identifying the trends from the previous experiences that we've gained. Then comes the abstraction. Now abstraction becomes very important, which is focusing on essential information. If we talk about current data that students are exposed to, it's the internet is content heavy. So if they plan to solve a problem, they might end up getting a lot of content. So we need to make the students understand that which is the important content and which they should filter out to solve a problem. Same happens with us. We have enlisted a lot of parts, we have enlisted a lot of data in front of us based on the past events. But now comes the abstraction. As a teacher, we try to filter out the most important parts, which will definitely have, are on the priority, and which will definitely cater for this event, maybe annual day function. That's what I've asked you. So abstraction is, we will only focus on the most important parts that we've identified, and we will filter them out. Then algorithmic design is creating the step-by-step approach. So we write the steps that how we will follow. So when it comes to annual day, yes, the budget and venue is very important. So definitely we'll filter that out, ma'am. Okay. So algorithmic design. Yeah. Algorithmic design is a step-by-step approach. So we will plan it. We will set the steps, starting from planning to execution. And that is what we do for every event. We plan it, and we set a deadline also, so that we don't lag behind when it comes to get a successful event conducted. So algorithmic design, in this algorithmic design, we'll make the students understand, and we can give them simple examples that, okay, if you prepare a team, what are the different set of steps? So they might give you, steps which might have, they might give you the steps which might have missing steps, or maybe the sequence is not appropriate. So there we can let them know that what is the sequence, and if they miss out any of the step, what will happen. So it's like a step-by-step approach to solve a problem in a structured manner. And that is the same concept is used by machines also when it comes to solving a problem. So when it comes to annual day, since we have already identified the different parts, we have understood the patterns, that we have recalled all our experiences from the past, we will take the important information, and then we will drop the steps. Then comes data analysis. Data analysis, or you can say data interpretation. So data interpretation is, so maybe as a teachers, we can collect the feedback also, that feedback regarding the annual day event which students are expecting this year. or maybe their feedback from the past experiences. So then those past feedbacks, or maybe the feedback for the current event, we will try to analyze them. We will try to bring out the conclusion that what improvements can be brought for the next event that we are planning. So it's like reviewing the feedback, yes, reviewing the remarks, reviewing the feedback, and then improving. So that is what is data interpretation. And next comes troubleshooting, which is very important. Maybe, see, when we keep doing any task, then we know that there are certain challenges that we face at times. For example, if I talk about annual day, so maybe there are delayed supplies, or maybe the committee is not working, functioning well. Maybe there are some people, those who are out for some reason. So we try to find the alternatives, how to fix those challenges and problems to get the successful event done. Yes, handling the loopholes. Absolutely, Akriti ma'am. That's the perfect statement for this. So troubleshooting is we actually try to handle the errors that are identified. So in short, it's finding and fixing the errors. Costumes not fitting as per size. Absolutely. And we try to then resolve and if they are tight, we loosen them. And if they are so accordingly, vice versa. So we do it accordingly. And that's what this is the simple example that I have taken. And I think as a teachers, we can relate with it well. So we can give the similar example to our students also, so that they can relate well and then they can understand the concept of computational thinking. But teachers, I will show you the curriculum which was launched by CBSE. The questions which are framed for computational thinking part, they are the worksheets. So in those worksheets, the questions which are framed, they will actually encourage the students to follow these steps, and to improve their thinking skills. They will follow the structured approach to solve it. But how we have to begin and how we have to implement, that's what we will see. So since we have already gone through the different steps of CT, that how the child will come out with a solution. But why do we think that CT is a foundation for AI? What all steps the child is following, what all steps the child is following to come to start with a solution, sorry, to bring out a solution. The same set of steps are followed by AI and ML also to solve a problem. The same steps are followed by any intelligent machine to bring out a solution. So that is a correlation. That is a correlation. So because students of 3 to 5, they are very young to understand what AI is, how actually they can obviously experience, they can see that what AI is working, but they might not be able to understand how it is working. That is why they are starting with CT. So they will understand what all are the different, intelligent steps that we follow to bring a solution. And then after they study CT, they will be able to understand in the senior grades that how CT is relatable to AI. Like we humans follow, we are intelligent, we follow certain structured mechanism to solve a problem. Same, the systems, the intelligent systems also use, they decompose. So here you can see the correlation. They decompose the complex tasks. So AI and machine learning systems, they also decompose the complex tasks. They detect the patterns because we know that we provide them with the data. And using the data, the AI machines, the AI algorithms, they actually identify the pattern. They identify the trends hidden in the data set to learn and to create its understanding on that. So for example, if we are training a model to identify the difference between cats and dogs, so it's not going to learn the complete image of dogs and cats. It will only identify and select those patterns, those features which are quite unique for AI model to predict the category. Abstract features, so that is what is abstract features also. So AI also abstract features that matters for prediction. It doesn't learn everything, it learns which is giving it an idea of differentiating among the different classes. Follows precise algorithm over many steps, learns from data and produces prediction, iterates it, obviously it has an iteration also, and updates whenever it finds that the output is wrong. So we know that AI machine also keeps improving themselves with more data, okay? And obviously when they interact more, when they get more data, they can definitely work well. So that is a correlation that is established, and that is why we believe that CT is a foundation for AI, and it is launched with AI. Moving ahead, teachers. Now, this is a question that I have taken from one of the CT handbooks, which is launched by CBSE. So I want you to quickly check the question on the screen, and in case you can answer it quickly, let me see the responses. $35. Okay. Can I get the see, teachers, if you see A, B, C, D, these are the options given. And you can see the question type also. So I'm getting C option also. I'm getting A also. B is also one of the options given in the chat section, teachers. I hope you are checking it carefully. C is the correct. Okay. C is correct. Are you sure? Okay. Okay. So I know, teachers. I'm getting most of the responses from you as the option C. So the teachers, those who have identified C as the answer, I'm just asking from them, what mechanism you've used to solve this? How you've identified that C is the correct option? Reasoning, pattern, computational thinking. Okay, top row, someone gave me top row, pattern, previous data analysis, absolutely. Differences in the pattern, that's it. So teachers, what we are doing? We are first of all dividing this particular series. Okay, so if I talk about the numbers which are filled in the top circle, first is 3, second is 6, third is 9, fourth is 12, fifth is 15. So if you, yes, table of 3. So we are seeing that at every step, 3 is added. So the next number will be 15 plus 3, which is 18. So in the top circle, definitely there will be 18. So if you see, B, C, D have 18 at the top. So A is cancelled out. So we have to see that which is the option among the B, C, D. Now we will check the numbers filled in the bottom circle. 4, 5, 7, 10, 14. So can you identify the pattern? 4, 5, 7, 10, 14. In the first step, 1 is added. In the second step, 2 is added. Yes, increase by 1, 2, 3, 4. Absolutely. It's given by Nisha ma'am and Swati ma'am and Ranjana ma'am. So Ramya ma'am. So I believe there are maths teachers also, but I think AI teachers can also respond. So definitely, I don't know the departments, but definitely it's well identified that we are adding. In the first step, we are adding 1. In the second step, we are adding 2. In the third step, we are adding 3. In the fourth step, we are adding 4. And now to get the next number, we will add 5. So 14 plus 5 is 19. So definitely the bottom circle will have 19. So now D is removed. We are left with B and C, which has the correct numbers written on the top circle and the bottom circle. Now, if we check the numbers filled in the squares in between, they are the addition. Absolutely, Nisha ma'am. Adding top and bottom number. Right. So if we add 18, yeah, sum of two circles, addition of both. So 18 and 19, if they are added together, it is 37. So that is how we've got that C is the correct option. So we've divided, we have decomposed, we have identified the pattern, but definitely we have so many intelligent teachers joining us, those who have done it really quickly. So, but you people know that what is the mechanism? This is what is thinking skills. So it's not a new subject, definitely. It's just a pedagogical shift. If you see, this is not something which is subject is specific, but yes, we want the students to become the thinkers rather than the learners. So here we see, as a teacher, as a facilitator, we don't want to intervene in the procedure. Which class it is? It is of 6th grade, teachers. The question which I have taken, it is of 6th grade, and it's quite simple. And see, as a facilitator, we are not required to guide the students through the complete procedure, give them the answers. So that is a traditional way of teaching, that we are telling them the steps. Then they, obviously that is required in mathematics. If I'm having so many maths teachers, I believe that definitely is required, that guidance is required in some of the concepts and the advanced concepts of maths. But when it comes to this particular general question, when they have the basic mathematical skill, we believe that they can involve that skill, thinking skill in this, and they can come out with a solution. So as a mentor, as a facilitator, our task is just to give them that flexibility and freedom to solve this question and come out with the outcome. And So it should be a discussion kind of thing that should happen in the class. And then you can ask the student what procedure they have used to come out with that particular solution. And you definitely will get different procedure, different ways of coming to that particular solution. So that is what we want the student to do, to become thinkers and not to become the learners. Thinkers, those who can lead the future. So here we have a next question, teachers, and I believe you need to quite understand this well. So I'll just quickly read it for you. You must shoot exactly one item from each box. So you have to shoot one item from each box. So when an item is shot from each box, the same item in the adjacent box is also eliminated. This means that if I eliminate rhombus from box A, rhombus from the adjacent box will also get eliminated. So I will get these two rhombus eliminated if I'm shooting this particular symbol from here. What is the maximum number of items that can be eliminated after all the three shots? I'm getting Arpit sir is giving the answer D. Okay. Pooja ma'am D. Okay. Are we sure it's D? Because now all the teachers are saying it's D. Okay. I'm getting one more response. B. Okay. C. D. Okay. That was a very quick response though. Yeah. So teachers, if I talk about A box, which symbol would you like to eliminate? Which symbol would you like to eliminate? Circle, rhombus, trapezium, or triangle? Triangles. So if you will remove triangle from A, then it will only be removed from B. It will not be eliminated from C. So I'm asking from box A. If you want to shoot any particular symbol from box A, which is also there in box B. So, okay, I'm taking rhombus because if you are saying triangle, if you will end up removing triangle from box A, you will only remove it from B. C, in C, it won't be removed because C is not adjacent to A. Okay, so that's what we need to consider. Box B has both the boxes adjacent. So first from box A, I'm eliminating rhombus. What will happen? The same rhombus in the adjacent box will be removed. So now the two shapes are eliminated. Now I'm coming to box B. Box B has triangle, which is common for both. And it has B, A and C as both as the adjacent boxes. So if I eliminate triangle, so I'm eliminating triangle from box A also, I'm eliminating triangle from C also. The 3 plus 2, 5. Now I'm coming to box C. Box C, after eliminating triangle, I have arrow in common. So I'm eliminating arrow. That arrow will be eliminated from B also. So 5 plus 2, 7, total 7. So this is the explanation. What we are doing, we have divided this particular question into different, steps. And then we can try to solve. Error and trial mechanism can also be used. Like, obviously, at first you might end up thinking that yes, triangle is here also, and you might end up eliminating triangle from box A. So obviously we are dividing the problem. We are seeing that what could be the possible best approach for eliminating the maximum number of elements. So first we have eliminated triangle. We've checked that box B is at the center and has two adjacent boxes. So we will try to see the common shape, which is common for all the three boxes. And that's why we've eliminated the triangle. Then in box A, we've eliminated rhombus, which is also eliminated from B. And then we will try to eliminate arrow from C, which will be eliminated from B also. So the maximum number of items that can be eliminated are 7. Okay, so again, teachers, this is taken from a computational thinking handbook, one of the computational thinking handbooks. And again, it involves thinking skill. It compels the students to decompose the problem, to identify that what are the patterns, how, what is the possible step that the child should follow to come up with a better solution, and to identify which is the possible solution. So it's just a pedagogical shift, making the students understand how how they can think through the complete problem to bring out the solution to it. Now, before I proceed to artificial intelligence, so there are many questions. if I talk about CBSE, they have written in their curriculum, they have written in their handbooks also that this particular computational thinking needs to be aligned, is actually launched to align with mathematics. So if you will see the handbook, it has only the worksheets. Along with worksheets, there are some activities also, some general activities. So the mathematics teachers, they are required to integrate and embed these worksheets and activities in their regular periods only. So no extra period is required for that. They can integrate this particular section in their regular teaching, in their regular chapters which they actually teach. But it is also emphasized that CT is something which is not merely for mathematics teachers. It is obviously for all the subject teachers. So that is why CBSE is encouraging to integrate CT across all the subjects. And that can be done by creating certain set of questions for the concepts that we teach, and make the students, think through it and come out with a better solution. Okay, so here, teachers, before I move towards artificial intelligence, I have pasted the table of index from the mathematics book. This is of grade 6. I've just taken one grade. So I'm taking grade 6 for now. And towards the right side of my screen, this is the screenshot of mathematics book. And I think the mathematics teachers can identify it. Okay. And at the center, there is the table of content, a screenshot of the recently launched computational thinking book launched by CBSE. Sorry. So if you people see the sequence of the chapters, they are similar to the sequence of chapters in the mathematics book. So chapter 1 here is patterns in mathematics. Here, patterns in mathematics, the chapter 3. After we talk about the complete pedagogy, which is required by the teacher, what this book is, how to use it. The first chapter is patterns in mathematics. Then lines and angles is the second chapter here in mathematics books. Lines and angles is the second chapter here. So if you see the content, it is completely worksheet based. And that is what we, after completing the chapter from here, we can come to this worksheet and we can make students, identify the solution, become the thinkers, and come out, they can bring their own procedures to bring the outcome, the correct outcome. So our focus should not be on the outcome, basically on the answers, rather the procedure with the child is which the child is following. So that our focus should be as a facilitators for them. And there are certain activities also, some offline activities which are quite interesting to make the students understand the concept of maths also. So this is, as CBSE has said, that these are the sample booklets of CT which is launched aligned with the mathematics, but other teachers are also expected to make their lesson plans CT enabled, so that they can understand computational thinking. Because computational thinking is something which is fundamental skill, and it runs across all the subjects. So moving ahead, now if I talk about these handbooks are there are some questions answered here that they follow the same chapter sequence as in mathematics. Teachers can integrate CT questions seamlessly in the daily instructions. You can frame some CT flavored questions as per the concept that you introduce, and there is no new schedule required for making the students understand computational thinking component. It has to be accommodated in the existing period. So it's not a new subject launched by CBSE. It is a pedagogical shift that we are making students become the thinkers. So moving ahead, teachers. Okay, so there are questions in the chat section before I move to artificial intelligence. Can you give few examples of TOR? Okay, the world around us, that is EVS, and the languages. So if I talk about these handbooks, teachers, the worksheets which are given, they are generally aligned with mathematics, but there are certain questions. There are some, extra questions also, extra thinking questions also, which are quite general and can be taken and can be seen that if they are aligning with your subject. And then you can try to embed that. Maybe we can also draft some new questions for our own subject, making students understand. and encourage them getting those skills, computational thinking skills. So that is up to you how you draft your lesson plans. But for now, these handbooks are majorly aligned with the mathematics, but still there are certain questions which are aligned with arts also, like shapes. Obviously, when students see that particular image in a 2D, a 3D image in a 2D, they might not be able to understand. So they can be asked to create that particular art. There are certain questions which are even aligned with science. Some questions, data interpretation questions, are aligned with SST also. So these handbooks can be gone through and can you can see and select the questions. Yes, yes, ma'am. It is all for all the classes. Absolutely. So now, what is artificial intelligence? Once we introduce the students with computational thinking, they know that how intelligently they have, followed the structured approach to bring the solution. They can relate it with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is what? It is a machine which is capable of thinking. Artificial intelligent machine is a machine which is intelligent enough, which has the capability of thinking like we do, which has the capability of learning, which has the capability of recalling, making the decision, solving the problem like humans. So that is what we need to make the students understand. Because there are students, even we also we get confused, to identify the difference between automation and AI. So this understanding of CT, how intelligently we solve the problem, this will make the students understand how AI also follows, how AI learns, how AI think, um, how AI solve the problem. Okay, and how AI makes the decisions considering the recording. What about, okay, before I proceed, what about class 9? See, teachers, CBSE is still deciding, though there was a circular recently launched that they will be launching some content for grade 9 as modules, but still CBSE is thinking through it, and we'll definitely get an information that what will be done for grade 9. For now, you can make the students select the optional subjects which are there, which are available there, and then once the CBSE launches, because nothing can be said for now, like what will be the number of hours, what will be the content, but definitely since we are seeing that the progression is happening, so definitely they will be launching maybe some modules, or maybe they will use the existing content that we need to wait for. Okay, so teachers, further more questions I will take towards the end. Let's quickly complete this. Now, artificial intelligence I've already discussed, and we know that we are using AI. So we don't want the students to become the mere users, but to understand what is the science behind it, how it is actually working, okay, and how it is impacting and benefiting us. So that's what we need to make the students understand, and these are the topics which the students are introduced in classes 6 to 8. So if you see, this is the index of grade 6, in which the students are introduced with artificial intelligence, and yes, they are even introduced with some everyday examples, like the recommendation applications, the subtitles that they get, the Google Map, the Google Lens, Google Assistant, and most importantly, the Chat GPT. So all these, tools which they actually use in their daily life. So all those examples are given to the students so that they can relate well. Yes, ma'am. I'm just coming to that only. They are even introduced with the basic concepts of data. We know that when it comes to AI is a data-driven technology, and that is why we will be making students understand the data, the types of data, how to collect the data, how to organize and represent the data. Then further moving, simple pattern recognition, decision making. Again, students have already, they've already understood what is pattern recognition, what is decision making. So here in AI, they will see that how machines actually recognize the pattern and they make the decision. And furthermore, if you will notice, teachers, in all the classes, the curriculum, there is, ethics and digital responsibility. Okay. So this particular chapter is added in all the classes to make the students, responsible users of AI. And when obviously when they're progressing, they will develop it also. So become the responsible developers without any, effect impacting the without bringing any biases in the data, without, bringing, giving, harming any uh, people out there. So we want to make students work on AI. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting distracted with the questions in the chat section. So I'll just pause a bit before I move to
Ma'am,
the next slide.
we can
Yeah,
do one thing. I would request all the participants, we can take all the questions in the last once ma'am covers all the slide, and then probably we can take all the questions. Will that be okay, ma'am?
yeah, definitely for me,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I
Okay.
can understand because you have to answer again and again all the questions looking at the chat board. No worries. We'll take all the questions. I'll read for you as well. So
Sure,
I would
sure,
say
sure.
you can cover the slides accordingly. And that same I would request to my participants also. You do park your questions in the chat box. We'll take them all.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So teachers, that's what I was talking, because we want to make our students, responsible users of not only AI, but there are some general concepts also. We want to make them the responsible users of technology. They are surrounded with technology and the advancements of technology. So online safety, privacy, how online, basically the online behavior, expected online behavior of student, that is what been discussed. Obviously, grade 6 students are the ones that we start with, that how, well they should protect themselves when it comes to connecting their devices online, and, how much they are exposed to the online world, how they have to protect themselves there. So then next we have, this is the curriculum. These are the list of topics which are added in grade 7. But before I move to grade 7, in grade 6 teachers, they have, CBSE has also introduced domains of AI: data science, natural language processing, computer vision also. So applications are also added. Then moving ahead in grade 7, further they have advanced. So it's a progressive approach. Again, they have introduced, in grade 6, they have introduced AI domains. Here, the AI domains are explained in details. Their applications are also mentioned. AI in industries, the benefit of AI in different industries, in different fields are also discussed. Data visualization and analysis, again, the advanced section of how to handle the data, how to visualize, convert it into the graphs and understand, that is also explained in this particular book. Ethics and AI bias awareness. We know that AI is not biased. AI become biased when the data is biased. So that is what is being talked about in this particular unit. You people must have seen, when we search for nurses online, so we generally get female images. Even now also, when we search for doctors, we get more of the male images. And why Google search, it's giving us biased result? Because of the data set on which it is trained for. So it has taken this biased approach from the data set it's trained with. So that is what we will make our students understand, that what kind of biases can definitely come in the AI model. So all the types of biases are discussed and how we can avoid that. So that's what is discussed. It's a with examples. Then here in grade 8 teachers, there are some tools also. So it's again an advanced section here. AI project life cycle, where the students will understand the different steps to develop the project, will be are enlisted and they are introduced with it. Artificial intelligence and its applications. So here again, it's talking about the applications. Okay, so it's not only mere applications in grade 8, rather students are prompted to develop something around the community problem. So they are discussed with the community problems, and they are even provided with certain no code tools like teachable machine and machine learning for kids. These two tools are mentioned here, wherein the students are encouraged to develop the projects. Then data and fairness in AI, again, how we can bring a fair data, because if there are problems in the data, AI will also get those problems in making the predictions. And again, ethics and responsible use of AI is talked about. So teachers, there was a question regarding time allocation. I'm catering to that question here itself. When it comes to 3 to 5 teachers, 3 to 5 grades, it's just the CT component that is launched by CBSE, and they have made it for 50 hours per year. This CT component has to be integrated with mathematics and the world around us. So both the teachers can quickly check all the worksheets and see that what is integrated well with their curriculum. Even all the instructions, pedagogies, they are mentioned, and how to use the book. It's completely mentioned towards the beginning of the book. Here, when we talk about 6th to 8th, it has CT and AI. So it has 100 hours, wherein advanced CT skills are given with 40 hours, introductory AI concepts are given 20 hours, and interdisciplinary projects 40 hours. So CBSE is expecting that students will develop two interdisciplinary, that means integrated with other subjects, not only maths but also all the other subjects. So interdisciplinary projects, 20 hours for each project. So two projects are expected by each student. Here, if I talk about the pedagogies, which the CBSE curriculum for 3rd to 8th, the pedagogies with the CBSE has launched, since 3 to 5 students are very young, and they like playway approach of learning things. That is why CBSE is encouraging that the teachers should, keep puzzles, brain teasers, maybe the visual reasoning activities, pattern recognition, some arranging activities, the games, sequencing games, and maybe they can even take up some problem solving scenarios, the real world problem solving scenarios, where they can take the inputs from the students. So this is for grade 3 to 5. Then for grade 6 to 8, students have the deeper understanding of CT and they are getting the introduction to AI. So advanced CT is given 40 hours. So of course, they can be given with problems like deeper problem solving. Some algorithmic designs can also be given to the students with logical reasoning. So obviously, there are some advanced questions. Introductory AI concepts, which is of 20 hours. I have already discussed that how the progression is happening when it comes to grade 6, 7, and 8. And there are interdisciplinary project of 40 hours hands-on. So the projects can be kept simple for 6th and 7th, maybe data analysis, data interpretation. But when it comes to 8th, you can use the tools which are mentioned in the CBSE curriculum, Teachable Machine and Machine Learning for Kids, making students develop simple basic projects interconnected with other subjects. Now, this is the general pedagogy by CBSE for CT and AI. It has to be activity based. There are some activities given in the CT portion. And CBSE is saying that they will be launching the handouts for AI also for more explanation. So that has to be made activity oriented. And some examples can be added, which is definitely real life based. Some puzzle solving games can also be included, hands-on practice, group projects, group presentations, worksheets, discussions, debate, and the real life problem solving. So all these are the mechanisms that can be used for making the students, understand what CT and AI is. So this is the pedagogy suggested by CBSE, and you can check the course content also. In 3 to 5, the pedagogies mentioned are same, playway manner, and the pedagogies mentioned for 6 to 8 are again same, which I have just shown. Now, assessment pattern is, it's not going to be a summative kind of, it's continuous and formative kind of assessment that CBSE is planning for. It's the holistic assessment wherein the students can be assigned with some practical tasks, some hands-on problem solving activities can be given to the students. They can be given a group presentation, they can be given some group projects also, some data interpretation activity, some observation. They can collect the data from the school, they can interpret it and bring out some solution. Peer assessment can also be part of it, and obviously some logic and reasoning questions when it comes to CT. Now, what is our role as teachers? Our role is being a facilitator, not guiding them throughout the procedure and giving them the answers. Of course not. We need to give them the freedom and flexibility to come out with the particular solution. So it's written guide student-led discovery. It's completely student-centered. So if you will see the curriculum and the assessment type, the pedagogy, which CBSE has mentioned, it's completely student-centered. And that's what we need to emphasize. We have to become the facilitators, not the traditional teachers who are taking through and giving each and every step to the spoon-feeding the students. That will intervene their actual mechanism of thinking. So we have to be the facilitators, guide student-led discovery and exploration, mentor. We have to be the mentors. We have to support their individual learning journeys. All the students have their own way of working. Okay, so we have to make them so they support their individual learning journeys and growth. Activity designers, we can design our activity, and this is for all the subject teachers. Technology integrators, wherever you feel that tools are required, you can integrate the tools in your lesson plans and make the students use and work them. Ethical awareness guides, we need to make the students teach the responsible safe use of AI, and also be the responsible developer of AI. Innovation promoters, we need to encourage creativity, critical thinking, logical reasoning, experiential learning, making students work on the project and bring out the solution to the problem. So basically, we want them to become the problem solvers. Okay. So here, these are some integration ideas which I have extracted from the documents launched by CBSE. If in case teachers you want, you can take the screenshot of it. That how CT and AI can be integrated with maths. And obviously, AI is something which is integrated with all when it comes to project development. So it's definitely when it comes to project development, students can reach out to other teachers and can think of a problem, can ask teachers how they can collect the data, how they can interpret and use to bring out the solution using AI. And CT, obviously, maths and science teachers and SST teachers can definitely see how they can work through. Whereas when it comes to English teachers, they can help students in developing, if they're planning for chatbots, a story prompt, so they can definitely connect with them. Now here, what is the benefit for the students? They can become the logical thinkers that we've been talking about for so long, problem solvers, ethical digital citizens, responsible users and developers of AI and the technology, creative innovators and future ready learners. That's what the curriculum suggests and encourages the student to be. So this is the action plan for the schools teachers, that there is a training plan which already the CBSE is working on, and they've recently launched the circular also. But trainings is something which is definitely important for everybody out there. So schools should plan the training sessions, maybe the expert talks, which is also mentioned by CBSE. Expert talks should be done. Training sessions should be conducted in the schools. Lesson integration, CT should be integrated in all the subjects. Maybe the lesson plans can be updated that way. Some questions can be designed with the CT flavor. Monthly CT activities can be done to encourage the student that competitiveness. AI project showcasing, the assessment rubrics should be in such a way that we should evaluate the competency. And parent awareness, this is just optional, wherein you can introduce the parents also. There are certain myths teachers I will be talking about quickly. Teachers are thinking that this is only CS. This is only for CS teachers. It is not only for CS teachers, but for maths and science also. No extra period is required. It is to be embedded with the existing subject. When it comes to AI, computer science teachers can embed this into their regular periods. Need of computer labs, it's low tech and activity driven. So not as such, not much computers are required. Just 2 activities are majorly mentioned in the grade 8 curriculum. Coding is not required. Here in grade 3 to 8, CBSE hasn't launched any coding, but definitely they are planning in the near future. Exam burden, initial assessment is internal and activity based. There is no a board exam, but board exam will definitely be for 20 in year 28-29 for class 10 students. So those who are in grade 8 might give their board exam for CT and AI. It's just the basic awareness which is introduced the students with. Class 9th will have the formal modules, and teachers need a pedagogical shift. It's not an extra subject, teachers. It's just a pedagogical shift which is actually happening. So this is my closing thought, teachers. CT teaches the students how to think, and AI teaches the students how technology thinks. And together they prepare children for tomorrow to become AI ready. Teachers, this is also mentioned in all the handbooks. So do read this carefully. This is for you. Teachers should approach this course with the mindset that the process of thinking is more important than arriving at the correct answer. And that is what we need to take care of when we are introducing our young learners with this particular course. I'm sharing all these reference links with you so that it's easy for you to access what all reference. These are the references, I have taken. This complete PPT is drafted from all these references. I'm sharing these references with you in the chat section. Trapti ma'am, I have already shared in case it's required to be shared again. I can do that. Teachers, please save these links. These are though available on CBSE Academic site also. Thank you. Now I'm open for the questions. if you have any. Okay, Suman ma'am, I'm taking your question first. So Tripti ma'am, I think I can take her question. She's saying that AI will. Okay, share again, Vinita ma'am. I'm
Yeah,
sharing.
ma'am. Yes, you can take.
So, ma'am, AI cannot replace teachers, definitely. See, you as a teacher has that emotional bond with your student. So we actually, drive our students with emotion, not only just by giving the instructions. Okay. So it is not going to. Okay. Suman sir, very sorry. Sir, so it's not going to replace teachers. Okay. Definitely. And, we know each and every student that well. We are not, rule based. If we have mentioned that I'm not going to take you to the lab, but still, generally, what I do, I punish my students saying that I won't take you to the lab. But next time, whenever I see them, I emotionally take them to the lab. But when it comes to AI is definitely going to be, very strict in terms of this. There are a lot of things which I can talk about it, but definitely teachers cannot be replaced by it. This is the field which is definitely, protected when it comes to AI. So I'm sharing the links again, which I've shared. Any other question which teachers you want to ask? How I integrate AI with SST science? Uh, Teachers, whatever concept you teach in your class, it's just that you can bring out a question. Okay, you can bring out a question, or you can draft an assignment. Um, Considering that particular concept, and design an assignment or a question that can enable student to develop these competencies. It's not that you have to focus on the sample which is launched by the CBSE, because the sample is more of aligned with maths, but CBSE is encouraging that the students can definitely implement and integrate CT in their lesson plans. So you can check out where there are various generative AI tools where you can definitely take the help from, and you can draft some questions for your own subject and concepts that you cater to. Now, Tripti ma'am, any other question that I've missed out?
Just say 1 second, ma'am. Just.
Yes. Okay. I think there's a question from Manisha ma'am that suggests some kind of project. So, ma'am, the kind of projects which is suggested by CBSE in grade 6 and 7, we can make the students do data interpretation. We can ask them to collect the data, and then they can do the data analysis and data interpretation. Whereas in grade 8, if you will see the curriculum, CBSE has introduced two tools also, teachable machine and machine learning for kids. So this is a no code approach for developing a project. So definitely students can use these tools to develop a project. Like they have shown one project also in the book, that is an audio project using teachable machine. So these are the projects which are suggested, and they can be integrated and with other subjects. So it's kind of interdisciplinary approach which CBSE is expecting from the schools.
Yeah, ma'am. If you allow, or if you say, then I can unmute the participants one by one if
Yeah.
they have the questions. Also, for all the participants joined over here in the session, just one announcement to everyone that we will be releasing the book soon on this topic, and all the required information and the announcement will be putting over the mail, and we will be sharing from all our marketing channels. We'll be doing that. So please do not get worried. We'll be releasing the books on this topic as well. Okay. Yeah. So, ma'am, I'll just unmute a few people.
You don't need to withdraw computer science from your curriculum, ma'am.
So, yeah, there is one question. Should we withdraw computer science from school? And then someone has asked how to use AI for inclusive education. Please tell tools which we can use for the same. Mr. Narendra Kumar from KB.
So, sir, if I talk about ChatGPT, which is quite famous, ChatGPT, most of the generative AI tools like Claude and Perplexity, these tools can definitely be used for working on inclusive education. So, and definitely the students, they can be made to work, and I just need to see and go through that more. But definitely generative AI tools are the ones which are getting integrated with all the subjects. And even when it comes to inclusive education, I think you can find the best benefit from it. Uh, Moving ahead, there are more questions. I'll just scroll down. How
Yeah,
it will be
just
assessed.
one. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So, Suruchi, ma'am, I think how it will be assessed with marks or with grades. So, ma'am, for now, it will be it will be assessed with marks. So far, grades are not mentioned, but yes, marks can be awarded for different activities which we'll make the students work on. Yeah, today CBSE site is not accessible. Maybe they're working on it, ma'am. Okay. I'll share it with Tripti, ma'am, and I think ma'am can definitely answer you using your books of AI. How about change? Picto
Yeah,
blogs,
about the
how?
books, we'll be putting all the required information on all our channels and platforms. So stay tuned. Every necessary information over the books, it will be there. And if you see in the chat box, we have also shared the this introduction to the secondary curriculum part. So all the required information with relation to the topic, it is there. If you can see, CBSE handbooks and resources and handouts are also there. So this is in the chat box, you can see. With regards to the other question, there is one question, ma'am.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
demonstrate on how the CT concept of decomposition can be applied to complex multi-step, and this is multi-step word problem in geometry and calculus?
Yeah. So this is from Bhagyashree ma'am, I think. So Bhagyashree ma'am, like you generally start student with explaining. You also follow for any word problem in mathematics. So that is what is decomposition only. When you write the steps, when you break the problem in front of the student and you draft the steps and you give them a solution. So, though in calculus, when I talk about calculus, it's about identifying the missing information or predicting some information. So that's calculus is also used by AI also to make the predictions, identifying the patterns from the previous data. So actually, these steps which are followed in calculus are all mentioned as the CT toolkit. Though in a simpler way, they are mentioned here, but if I talk about your subject is definitely mathematics is something which is already following CT, decomposition, patterns, abstraction. So it's already following things. The only thing is just a simpler set of questions are added to make students think more. Are the marks divided equally for CT and AI, Nilima ma'am? That CBSE will definitely update, but so far CT is included in mathematics. So we will see that maybe they will release the marks only for AI and CT will be added in maths. And that's how we are expecting. Soon we will
Ma'am,
get an
one
update on that.
repeated question. Can we have AI 417 for academic year 26-27 for grade 9 and for board in 10th standard? Code
In 10th,
417.
in 10th, we are continuing with 417 this year. That's the last year. But we aren't sure about grade 9. CBSE is still thinking through it, and they will definitely come up with with the maybe with the new modules, or maybe they'll let you know that what action they're going to take for that. Obviously, this batch is not going to go without AI, so we'll definitely get a response from CBSE soon. So Shilpa ma'am, I think that question will definitely be answered by CBSE. So I'm not sure about it right now. Still, CBSE is thinking through it. It completely depends on them.
Also, there is as CT is aligned with maths chapters, then how science teacher will take classes of CT from 3 to 5.
Uh, Science teachers, they have to draft their own lesson plans. See, this booklet which is launched, this is just a sample. So you don't have to take it as a core, you know, I would say core subjective thing, or maybe you're going to take it to the classroom. This is something which, you don't have to follow completely. This is a sample which is launched. Considering the same grounds, science teachers can also create a questionnaire and a worksheet for themselves, considering the concept with which they generally introduce the learners with. So for that, there are so many generative AI tools which you can use to generate some thinking based questions for your subject. Should we proceed with IT as vocational subject because CT and AI is module for all? You can proceed with IT, you can proceed with home science, you can proceed with painting, NCC, sales and marketing, retail. So there are optional subjects enlisted. So those options can be provided to the students. It's completely your take which optional subject you want to take ahead. But yeah, IT can definitely be taken in case students are more interested for that. Both ninth and 10th already implemented AI as a skill subject.
I believe most of the questions are repeated, and like I believe,
Yes,
ma'am, you
ma'am.
have covered already.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So again, to all the participants, we have shared the certification link, means the attendance link in the chat box. Request you to please fill all the necessary information in the form. So accordingly, in the working 3 to 4 days, we'll be sharing all the certificates to each one of you over your mail IDs. And with regards to the session, still, if you have anything to ask, you can just write to us. We ma'am and like our team will get back to you on every particular thing. Okay, any question, anything with related to the session, you all can just write back to us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for wonderful session. And I can say with so much patience and every other thing, you have answered each of the questions, and wonderful presentation it was, I would say. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, and again, participant, just to announce it again, we'll be sharing the required information. When are we releasing the books with related to the topic? We'll be putting all the necessary details on our every platform. So please stay tuned with every information and with our coming webinars. Thank you so much to everyone. Have a wonderful